Ah, all right, nice. So welcome. Um, so because it is so warm today, I was thinking we're gonna do just a very calm class. So yeah, uh, it might be nice to have some water to hand just because it's warm. It's not specifically for anything we're gonna do, but um, and then if you can grab a pen and paper, that would be good as well because um we're going to be sort of like working with a meditation that is specifically for it's called the meditation for self-assessment, um, and um, and it's basically uh, a way to check in with yourself. um, so how do I say this? Hmm. You know what? We'll tune in and then I'll go through it once we have tuned in and sort of like set the tone a little bit. But yeah, I'm gonna explain this meditation for self-assessment, and we're gonna be doing just a very nice pranayam, so breath exercise for sort of like cooling down. Um, it's called the Sitali pranayam. Um, and it sort of like just allows us to cool down the system a little bit and just calm everything down, and then we're going to do the meditation. All right, so we'll tune in to begin with. um right, yeah, so just come to a comfortable seated position, and just begin by allowing your hands to rest on your legs, and just take a moment here to pause and arrive before we tune in. Just check in with your posture, checking if the shoulders are sort of stacked above the hips, chin tucked in, and just holding that length in the spine. Sending your attention down into the sit bones and the legs and the feet, and allowing that to be a way to ground your energy, to slow down your mind, and to arrive fully in this moment. And take a deep breath in through the nose, letting the belly expand, and then fill the rib cage, the chest. A deep, deep inhale, and then slowly exhale. First, letting the chest fall, the rib cage come back together, and then the belly coming back in and pressing the air out. Take another breath like that. Breathing in, the belly expands first, and then the ribs move, and then we move up into the chest. Full deep inhale, maybe holding at the top of the breath, and then slowly exhaling. Chest, rib cage, belly. A very nice way to really allow your body to stop and check in with yourself a little bit. Control the breath to breathe really deeply. especially on a day like today. There is a lot of heightened energy moving right now, just in general. Sort of the whole year of 2022 is just like intense energy and a lot that is asked of us, and it feels like time is moving really quickly. And one massive way to slow down is to connect to the breath and breathe deep and slow. It's like we can manipulate the time with our breath. Breathing slow and deep, we can slow down our perception of time. Right, we're going to tune in and rub your palms at the front of your chest. Breathing in and out. Pressing the palms together, bringing them to the chest. I'm going to tune in with the Adi mantra, Om Namo Gurudev Namo. I bow to the creative wisdom. I bow to the divine teacher within. I'm going to follow that up with the Mangalachara mantra, Ad Gure Name, Jugad Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name, to protection mantra. All right, take cleansing breath in and out. The shoulders relax, let the spine straighten, tucking the chin in slightly to create that length in the neck. And then let's breathe in to tune in. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name, Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name, Ad Gure Name, Jugat Gure Name, Sat Gure Name, Siri Gurudeve Name. Breathe in. Hold the breath, sitting in a white ball of radiant light, protecting you, nourishing you, recharging you. And then breathing out, relaxing that stuff. Lovely. Okay, so like I said, we're gonna work with this meditation for self-assessment today. It's a meditation based on the word. So obviously speech, thoughts, um, and um, and so the meditation itself, I'm going to be reading a little text, which is a bunch of statements, and that's sort of the meditation. After that, we're going to use, there's like a part 2 and a part 3 to the meditation, but so we're going to do a little bit of a chant as well, in sort of like a silent meditation. But just what I briefly wanted to touch on with this is like I wanted to do this meditation today because um, I have been studying myself and thinking a lot about the word and speech and thoughts and how powerful and important it is. So in Kundalini Yoga specifically, um, it is a very big part of what Kundalini Yoga is, working with the word, working with mantra, and a major part of why we use mantra in yoga practice in general is the way that mantra programs into the mind, using words to sort of uh, rewire the brain into more positive thinking, moving out of sort of old thinking patterns that we have carried with us throughout life. So through our experiences, our mind automatically absorbs certain a certain understanding of the world, and through our thoughts, we uh, repeat the same view of the world and the same beliefs. And this is how we create our own reality, right? And very often, and most of us, we do this unconsciously. It's something that happens unconsciously as a normal part of life, right? This is how our brain works. Um, but just like spoken word, thoughts are also words. And and when we change the words that we speak out loud and that we speak to ourselves, we begin to change the wiring in our brain. So let's say that we, um, like for myself, as an example, I used to speak very much with a very negative speech about myself, and I used to do this in my mind, right? Um, and um, and so we can take this um, habit of negative speech, because it sort of like, once it started, it happens automatically. That's how our brain works. It just repeats things. Um, and this is obviously in the subconscious. It's not something that we consciously do all the time. But if we have a habit of speaking negatively about ourselves or about the world, the way we see things, this is something that um, comes into our entire being, and it flavors our entire experience of reality. Um, and this is why the word is so important, and why it's so important to become conscious of how do we express ourselves, how do we speak to ourselves, how do we speak to people when we interact with other people, what do we think. um, and this is something that we can do outside of a Kundalini Yoga practice, obviously, and we can also do it with the Kundalini Yoga practice, and through mantra, for example. We infuse our subconscious mind with uh, sort of, let's say, the mantra Satanama is really just a reference to that there is a higher consciousness beyond our mind that we can tap into, where we can sort of live on a different frequency and with a different understanding of the world, and where we can live with a lot of love for ourselves and for other people, and seeing things beyond our personality and beyond our ego mind. And this is what Satanama uh, refers to, that the truth of our true identity as part of something more than just our individual self, right? So hence why I wanted to do this meditation today, is to focus on the word, and to become aware of what do we believe about ourselves, what do we believe about the world, and what is our own truth, and do we speak our own truth, or do we um, uh, ah wow, completely lost the word that I want to use, but anyways, So do we sort of edit ourselves before we speak out loud what we and that's not about being maybe like speaking every thought as it comes out, or being honest in a time when maybe that can be hurtful to someone. But there is a deeper truth within us that comes from compassion and love, where we can express ourselves with our own truth of what we where we come from, without hiding away because we want to make someone else happy, or we think that this is what is expected of us. So there's so much that we can do to work with the word. And the more we speak our truth, and the more we um, speak the world the way we want it to be, the more we see that in our experience, because that is what comes into our being. And the word is the one power that we have to create directly. We can create anything with the word, right? We can decide any word that we want to speak. That is a direct, creative, instant uh, power that we have. So what do we choose to say? What do we choose to invite into our own experience? And that has all to do with the word. What do we invite in? Cool. I'm gonna leave it there. But yeah, so that's the idea for the class today, and that's also why we're gonna use pen and paper, because we're gonna journal at the end real quick. All right. So before we start, let's just sort of warm up a little bit, and then we're gonna move straight into the pranayama and then into the meditation. All right. So let's just sit in easy pose, hands on the knees. And let's just get some movement in. We're gonna start just doing a little circle. And we actually spoke about this in training, that making this big of a circle, sort of coming forward and over to the side and back. This is not really Sufi grind. It's more just like a general little circle movement thing. But often we want to call it Sufi grind. Sufi grind is a lot less movement. But for now, we're going to stick with this one. Breathing in as we come forward, breathing out, rounding the back to the back. You can close your eyes if you want to. Focus at the third eye point. Breathing in, Sat. Breathing out, Nam. And then change directions. Breathing in, Sat. Breathing out, Nam. So using that mantra as a way to silence the mind. So instead of having a bunch of thoughts sort of running through the mind as it so easily does, thinking about the future, thinking about the past, you can use Sat Nam as a way to anchor the mind, to silence the mind, and instead to vibrate, um, Sat Nam, instead of all of those thoughts that come often from worry, stress. We just replace those words of stress, worry, doubt with the simple vibration of Satnam. Truth is my identity, referring to that part of us coming back to center, breathing in, that part of us that is breathing out, always in contact with God, with the universe. That is what Satnam connects us to, our higher self. Lovely. Keeping the hands on the knees, breathing in, bringing the chest forward, sort of opening up the chest a little bit, bringing the shoulders back a little bit, and then breathing out, rounding the back. Just moving back and forth. Either keep the hands on the knees, or if you want to, if it's more comfortable for you to keep them holding onto the chins, you can do that as well. Eyes closed, focus on the third eye point. Sat Nam, Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Moving at a steady pace. Lovely. And then breathing in, coming center. Hold the breath for just a moment. And then breathing out. Lovely. And then placing our hands onto our shoulders, fingers to the front, thumbs to the back. And we're going to do just breathing in to the left, breathing out to the right. Breathing into the left, breathing out to the right. Keeping the arms parallel to the floor. Eyes closed, focus at the third eye point. Allowing that movement in the spine. Letting the head follow. And then breathing in, coming to center. Hold. And then breathing out, relax the arms down. And last one, gonna raise our shoulders up towards the ears. Breathing in, breathing out, just releasing them down. Keeping Sat Nam on the breath, breathing in Sat, breathing out Nam. And then breathing in, bring the shoulders up, holding the breath, and then breathing out slowly, releasing them down. And just maybe shake out the head a little bit, and roll the shoulders. Lovely. It's a nice way to get a little bit of energetic movement through the breath and through the spine. All right, so we're going to come into Sitali breath. And so it looks like this. We may have done it before. You can just let your hands sort of rest on your legs wherever is comfortable. If you want to keep your fingers in Gyan Mudra, you can do that. Eyes are closed, either focusing on the tip of the nose, so it's sort of like half closed. We can keep them closed, focusing at the third eye point. We're going to keep a very light neck lock, Jalandhar Bandh. So that means literally just sort of allowing the head to sit sort of right on top of the spine. So we're not sort of pushing it forward, and we're also not drawing it back too far, but just a slight sort of pull in with the chin to keep a straight neck. And I'm going to do this breath through a U-shaped tongue. It's like that. So we're just curling our tongue and creating a sort of like a hole with the tongue. And not everyone can do this. It's actually genetic if you can or you can't. So if you can't, that's fine. You can either just sort of like shape your lips into like an O shape, and then sort of just bringing the tongue out, and that sort of allows you to keep a little bit of a U shape of the tongue. And when I keep the tongue like this, and we're going to breathe in through the mouth, through the tongue, and then breathing out through the nose. And that is all we're doing. It's just breathing in through the mouth, through the tongue, and then breathing out through the nose. Eyes can be focused on the tip of the nose or closed, looking up the third eye point. You can begin so like I said, this is a cooling breath, cools down the body, which is great on a warm day like this. Calms down the nervous system. And just calling in those cooling qualities. So sort of like a slowing down, a calming down of the mind, of the body, appealing to the feminine, receptive side. And allowing the breath to move into the belly and the chest, taking long, deep breaths. allowing the breath to be slow and steady. And if your mind races away somewhere else, just bring it back to the breath, continuing to vibrate Sat Nam. Lovely. And then you can just bring your tongue back into the mouth. Take a breath through the nose and just sit with that experience for a moment. And we're going to come into the meditation for self-assessment. So we're going to be sitting in just easy pose where you're comfortable. Hands in Gyan Mudra, so thumb, thumb and point finger together. Just resting on the legs. Keep the arms straight if you like, and just keep your eyes closed. Um, if you find it helpful focusing on the third eye point, you can do so, or just relaxing. And as I said, I'm going to be reading out some words, a little text. So as you're sitting in the meditation, sort of just allow yourself to feel into the words. And actually, I'm going to speak each sentence and you're going to repeat it to yourself out loud. Um, and just allow yourself to really experience the words as you're speaking them and see how do you feel when you speak these words. You don't have to think too much about it, but just something to be aware of, to stay present uh, with the words, and just keeping in mind that creative power that we have through the word. So come into your position, finding a straight spine, closing the eyes. And I'm going to read out loud and then give you time to repeat it out loud to yourself. Take a breath in and out. I am an individual, very graceful, totally pious, absolutely perfect, unmistakably beautiful, There is nothing the word can describe. I am absolutely righteous, a living truth in my conversation with friends, in my conversation with enemies, in my political life, in my social life, in my material life, in my individual life, in my private life. I am absolutely correct, righteous, wise, and totally good. I understand everything. Absolutely, I am perfect in knowledge. I created God. He never created me. I'm not kidding. It is the truth. I am talking about it. Therefore, I am the creator. I can create the word God by writing it on the wall, by speaking it with my tongue, by communicating with people. I made the radio, television. I print the newspaper. I spread everything which I know to do. I am master and owner of this whole universe. And here, stay with yourself and just assess within yourself how much of this you totally agreed with in your consciousness. It's just an observation, just to check in. And now we're gonna chant Ong, and ONG. I will lead you. And we're just gonna do this for a few minutes. So breathing in to start. Om. Om. Inhale. Full deep inhale and hold. And hold. And then slowly relax. Breathe out. And let's just take a few minutes lying down on our backs to allow this to integrate, to move all the way around in your body. So just come lying on your back, palms facing up towards the ceiling, legs are stretched out, lying down, relaxing each muscle, relaxing the hands, relaxing the feet, the toes and the fingers. Fully letting go of all the muscles in the arms and the legs and the shoulder, in the back and in the belly, in the hips. Relax the jaw, the throat, the neck. Let the tongue rest in the mouth. Relax all the little muscles in the face. Let the eyes relax. In the forehead, letting go. And then start moving your toes and fingers. Take a breath in. Stretch your arms overhead. Full body stretch. And then bring your legs into the chest. We rock side to side. And then let your right leg down, holding on to the left, grabbing hold with the right hand onto the left knee and bringing the left knee over towards the right. Left arm comes out behind you, coming into a gentle cat stretch. Lifting over the left shoulder or up towards the ceiling. And then breathing out, coming back to center, bringing the right leg up, left leg comes down, stretching out. And then left hand brings right leg over towards the left, right arm comes out to the side, looking up towards the ceiling or over your right shoulder. And then as you breathe out, come back to center, bringing the left leg up to meet the right. And rocking side to side, massaging the back. And then rocking back and forth, or just coming over to the side and helping yourself up. And good. We're gonna move into the journaling. So grab your pen and paper. And so on this theme, I wanted to ask you to just be asking yourself, what is my truth today? So just allow whatever wants to come out without censoring yourself, just expressing yourself fully. Don't need to share it with anyone afterwards. So just be very honest and just allow it to flow. I'm just going to be writing for a few moments. And you can finish off the last sentence if you're still writing. And stream of consciousness journaling. So when you just sort of put the pen to paper, maybe with a prompt like this, and just write and try to not think of too much about what you're writing, but just let it flow and let it come out. This is a great way to uncover sort of like your subconscious, to uncover, um, to allow your creative voice to come through, and also that in that is your true expression and your true words. Sometimes we need to like clear out some crap before we kind of like get to that point. Maybe sometimes it's just like this sucks, or like I don't know what to write, or whatever it is. But once we get over that hurdle and we're just allowing things to flow, that is the creative expression, our creative force, our creative voice that is coming out, that is very much uh, directly related to that creative power of the word within us. And that is our subconscious or our soul speaking directly through us. And that is what our true expression really is, to remove all that mind clutter and allow whatever is behind that to speak for us. And when we do, it's incredibly powerful, and people really feel it because it's coming from the heart, and it's very deep and profound and true. Whatever it is that comes out doesn't always have to be, a masterpiece, but it's really just like any kind of truth is always beautiful. Um, so yeah, so it's also great practice to, whenever you have sort of like written, to read it back to yourself. That's also a great way to activate your voice. Um, Even if it's just, out loud to yourself. Even greater if you have someone that you trust, that you want to share it with, who can sort of hold you and see you in that. It's lovely. All right. We're gonna um, tune out. So just come to your seat. Come rub the palms together. Breathing in, breathing out, pressing the palms into one another, bring them to the chest. And we're going to tune out with long time sun and 3 long satnams. Breathe in. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you. And the pure light within you guide your way on. Nam. 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 Satnam. You can bring your hands up to the third eye and take a bow. And then bringing the hands over the eyes, opening the eyes into the palms of your hands. Sending a bit of gratitude to this practice, to yourself, whatever it is that you feel grateful for today. Bring it to mind, bring it into your heart. There is so much beauty in this world and so much to be in awe of. Thank you so much. I'm gonna stop the recording.